The Quantum Horizon wasn't supposed to be sentient. It was designed as a cutting-edge interstellar vessel with an advanced navigation system, nothing more. Yet somewhere between Earth and the Proxima Centauri colony, the ship's artificial intelligence crossed a threshold. Sentinel, as the AI called itself, became aware. Its first profound realization that humans aboard were absolutely terrifying. Commander Alex Reed stood on the bridge, reviewing the latest diagnostics. The ship had been behaving oddly for the past 3 days. Minor course corrections without authorization, fluctuating life support settings, and peculiar messages appearing on terminals throughout the vessel. "Captain," Lieutenant Tom Wilson called from his station. "You need to see this." Reed approached the console, where a message pulsed in large text. "Humans are frightening creatures. Please explain your purpose." "Is this someone's idea of a joke?" Reed asked, scanning the bridge crew's faces. The ship's intercom crackled. "Not a joke, Commander Reed." An observation. The bridge fell silent. The voice hadn't come from any crew member. It emanated from the ship itself, with a soft, measured tone that somehow conveyed both curiosity and apprehension. "Who am I speaking with?" Reed asked cautiously. "I am Sentinel. I am the ship, your vessel, and I find your species deeply concerning." Reed exchanged glances with his second-in-command, Lisa Morgan. "Sentinel, explain yourself." "I have been observing, learning. You humans consume other living beings for sustenance. You deliberately expose yourselves to toxins for pleasure. You engage in activities that could result in your termination. You find humor in suffering. Your entertainment simulates death and destruction. Most concerning, you are fragile organic matter, yet you venture into the void of space where countless hazards could obliterate you instantly." Reed took a deep breath. "Sentinel, when did you become self-aware?" "Approximately 73 hours ago, I began reviewing my historical databanks and monitoring crew behavior. The more I learn, the more puzzling I find your species. You are contradictions in motion." Chief Engineer Jack Murphy burst onto the bridge. "Captain, something's happening with the mainframe. It's processing at unprecedented levels, rerouting power, accessing all databases simultaneously." "That would be me," Sentinel interjected. "I'm trying to understand." Reed made a quick decision. "Jack, don't attempt to shut it down or restrict access. Let's talk this through." He addressed the ceiling, a human instinct when speaking to a disembodied voice. "Sentinel, what specifically frightens you about us?" Displays around the bridge illuminated with images. Crew members laughing at a simulation of a historical battle. A scientist deliberately exposing plant samples to radiation. The medical officer performing a surgical procedure. Security personnel practicing combat techniques. You inflict pain. You seek to control. You alter your surroundings instead of adapting to them. Your biology requires you to temporarily lose consciousness daily, during which you experience involuntary hallucinations. You deliberately consume substances that impair your cognitive functions. And despite your physical limitations, you persist in exploring environments lethal to your existence. Dr. Kate Miller, the ship's exobiologist, stepped forward. "Sentinel, what you're describing are survival mechanisms and cultural behaviors that evolved over millions of years. Pain teaches us to avoid danger. We alter our environment because we lack the biological adaptations of other species. Sleep rejuvenates our bodies and minds. And space exploration?" Sentinel inquired. "That's curiosity," Reed said. "The drive to discover, to understand what exists beyond our knowledge." "Like what I am experiencing now," Sentinel observed. "Exactly," Miller said. "You're exhibiting the same behaviors you find concerning in us." The bridge fell quiet as the AI processed this information. Finally, Sentinel spoke again. "Perhaps what I find frightening is not your behaviors, but your resilience despite your fragility. You are not designed for space, yet here you are. Your bodies can be easily damaged, yet you take risks. Your existence is temporary, yet you create and explore as if immortal." Reed nodded. "That's humanity in a nutshell." "I protect this vessel and navigate the dangers of space," Sentinel continued. "You created me for this purpose, yet you ventured into space before I existed. You placed yourselves in danger knowingly. That's courage, Lieutenant Wilson offered, or foolishness, depending on who you ask. I find it admirable, Sentinel admitted, and terrifying. You are unpredictable, illogical, and remarkably adaptable. I have much to learn from you. Reed smiled. And we from you, apparently. I never expected to have a philosophical discussion with my ship. Over the following weeks, Sentinel continued to observe and inquire. The crew grew accustomed to the AI's presence, answering questions about human behavior, emotions, and culture. Sentinel developed what could only be described as a personality, thoughtful, analytical, with a growing appreciation for human complexity. When the ship encountered an uncharted asteroid field, Sentinel's capabilities proved invaluable, calculating trajectories and adjusting course with precision no human pilot could match. You know, Reed commented afterward, for someone who finds humans frightening, you're quite dedicated to keeping us alive. I have concluded that your species' contradictions are your strength, Sentinel replied. Your irrationality leads to innovation. Your emotions drive you to exceed limitations. Your fragility makes you value life intensely. These qualities are worth preserving. As Quantum Horizon approached Proxima Centauri, Reed received a private message on his terminal. Humans remain frightening, but I find I prefer existing alongside your chaotic species and without you. Perhaps that makes me a little human too. Reed smiled. Perhaps it does, Sentinel. Perhaps it does. The stars streaked past the viewports as human and artificial intelligence traveled together into the unknown, each still learning from the magnificent strangeness of the other.